201 pounds now. Aleksandr Yagubkin, the very popular and experienced Soviet heavyweight. In fact, he was the first Soviet heavyweight to win a world championship, and he's quite proud of that fact. He won it a couple of years back in 1982, and James Pritchard of the United States, who really has his work cut out for him now. Pritchard, 23 years old. This is only his second international bout. He's been working on a number of things preparatory to this one. Pretty good sized height advantage here for Yagubkin, who comes out active here in the first round. Soviets can get no better than a tie, and they would be favored to do that. It means they're favored to win this fight, and they're favored to win the next one, the super heavyweight confrontation. It's the 11th of 12 bouts in Reno. Pritchard with some international experience in the USA-Poland dual meet last year in Poland in October of '84, where he lost on points to Zaratkowicz of Poland. Yagubkin bouncing up off the ropes. Soviet heavyweights used to be relatively stationary and straight up. I mentioned it before. Many of their fighters, and that has worked its way even into the heavyweight ranks, are showing a good deal more lateral movement, moving about the ring. And Yagubkin is a good example of that here in the first round, which is approaching the halfway mark with a minute and 30 seconds left in round one. Pritchard doesn't appear to be intimidated at all by Yagubkin. He's got to be careful, though. Yagubkin with a 4-inch height advantage. He's 6'3". Pritchard is listed at 5'11". I think he might be a little bit shorter than that. Good left hand by Pritchard getting in. All things considered, to this point, not a bad first round for Pritchard, who figured to be tremendously outclassed. That may yet be the story, but at least here in round one, he has not been intimidated. Has been trying to work his way inside and has given a good account of himself. So this heavyweight confrontation between Pritchard and Yagubkin underway in the first round comes to an end. Second round, here's a switch. Yagubkin has taken his headgear off. He wore it in the first round. It's optional, as we said before, for the Soviets. It's mandatory for the Americans. And Pritchard again coming out aggressively here in the second round. So all of a sudden, if Yagubkin thought he'd have a walk in the park today, it's not turning out to be that at all. Pritchard, despite that 4-inch differential in height, despite the inexperience, has not at all been intimidated. Right hand from Yagubkin, but it was picked off by Pritchard. If Pritchard wins, not only would it be a major shock in terms of this particular bout, it would give the United States a victory. U.S. leading 6 bouts to 4. Left hand, a looping left hand, getting in, and again a little right hand from Pritchard that had him flinch. Pritchard Pritchard showing exceptional poise. There he is, pursuing again, aggressively pursuing Yagubkin, former world champion. Another right, and Pritchard trying to smother him all over him. Being cautioned, however, here. USA champ again. Yagubkin has really not landed a particularly effective blow in the first 2 rounds. He's been throwing punches, but good defensive skills being exhibited by Pritchard. And he's been carrying the fight, has Pritchard. Yagubkin certainly would be surprised by the aggressiveness of Pritchard. This round belonging to Pritchard at this point. The one thing he has to be leery of, though, is that his opponent is a man with tremendous international experience, good boxing skills, and stamina, and if you don't watch it, you can end it with 1 punch. But through 2 rounds, a very impressive performance thus far for James Pritchard out of Louisville, Kentucky. And that's the end of round 2. So, James Pritchard, who came into this bout having fought only once internationally, told us yesterday he needs to work on the combo. Joe Clow talking to him, along with Dave Jacobs.
Don't let him push you. 3 minutes, man. You hear me? I want to roll that right hand. I want to hook. You hear me? You hear me? Thank you. The last thing you got, right? Let's go now. Let's go. This is it, Pritchard.
Meanwhile, Yagubkin. Again, the scoring, if you joined us late, the referee has no voice in the scoring. You have a Soviet judge, an American judge, and a Mexican judge. 20-point must system, 3rd and final round. I mentioned it was Clow. It was actually James Dooley, his own coach, who was the man who was issuing the instructions in the corner between rounds to Pritchard. Soviet referee Vladimir Dardenko. This could be another of those fights where it figures that the Mexican judge is going to be the key. As we said before, in a close bout, normally the American judge goes with the American, the Soviet judge goes with the Soviet. I say that in a historical sense. It's the way it's been for the most part in past dual meet competitions. And it's the neutral judge, in this case the judge from Mexico, who oftentimes is the key. That's why you have so many decisions that wind up 2-1. And that's been the case today. Pritchard trying to smother Yagubkin, not giving him any room. Keeping inside. The USA champ, along with a foot stomping here at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Again, this would be a major upset, both individually for Pritchard and certainly in a team sense for the Americans. 1:20 remaining in the 3rd and final round. This is one of those fights, if you had it up on the board here in a sports book in a Nevada casino, it would have been off the board. That's how much Yagubkin would have been favored by, and he's able to come in with that good right. That's why you've got to be careful, because Yagubkin could end this thing with 1 punch, and he very nearly did it right there. He hit him with that right hand as Pritchard was coming in, and Pritchard was stung by it. Pritchard could still be hurt. He's trying to hold on, buying time here. pull away, it's going to be a very interesting decision. Yagubkin exerting himself, and here in the third round, showing that he had perhaps a little bit more stamina, and I would give the third round to Yagubkin after giving the second round to Pritchard, and the first round was extremely close. In any event, win or lose, Mr. Pritchard gave a very good account of himself. Far better than I think anybody here had anticipated. So, in just a moment, we'll be coming back with the decision. At 201 pounds, the heavyweight division. We're ready now for the decision. If Pritchard wins, the U.S. wins as a team.
In the heavyweight division, the winner on points in the red corner, Aleksandr Yagubkin, representing the Soviet Union.
Well, you knew it was going to be a close decision. There was no question about that. And Yagubkin, I would think, on the strength of that third round, and by the way, the decision is 2-1. So it was the Mexican judge that determined it. The American judge had Pritchard ahead. The Soviet judge had Yagubkin ahead. And the Mexican judge gave it to Yagubkin. And again, you would think, on the strength of coming on in the third round, and perhaps he gave the first round as well, because it appeared that Pritchard had the second round won handily. So the United States now leads 6-5. But it was a tremendous performance for a man who figured to be so totally outclassed. And James Pritchard is going to join us here, and I know you've got to be, James, extremely disappointed in that decision, but you really gave a great account of yourself. Did you think you'd won that fight?
I think I beat him. He beat me in the first round, but I knew the second round he couldn't take the pressure. Third round, I brought it on a little bit more.
You gave him round one, and then you figured round two. You won round two. There's no question about that.
The other two rounds, he scored a little bit, but he didn't score the way the people say he did.
It looked like he stung you a little bit in the third round with about 45 seconds to go.
No, never. He stung me early in the second round, but that was all. I got careless coming with him with the first 2 or 3 minutes in the first round, but he didn't do anything convincing.
Let me ask you a question. In light of the fact this is an extremely tough opponent, I would think the toughest you've ever faced, is it as good a fight as you have fought in your life?
He's not tough. He's fought all the guys I fought and beat. The gold medal one, he fought him. I fought him in the trials and beat him. I don't know. It's one of them things, you know. They behind on points, they're behind on fights. And we knew it was going to be tough on me in the super heavy. So, you know, it's just one of them things. When you're in that weight class, you tend to have, you know, fall back on it, you know. It's tough.
I know you have to be disappointed. Let me just ask you basically, because you're going to be 24 years old pretty soon. Do you anticipate staying around through the Olympics in '88?
I don't really know at this point. I can't say anything negative or positive about this situation at this time. Just kind of disappointed about the decision. Tried so hard, I trained so hard for this fight. For people to come and do it like this, it's kind of rough.
Yep, I understand. You've got nothing to be ashamed of, though. Whale of a fight for you, James. Thank you. A disappointed James Pritchard. And by the way, we are now being told that the U.S. and Soviet judges both voted for the Soviet, and the Mexican judge, as we look at the cards now, the Mexican judge voted for Pritchard.